us to sleep.
Hi everyone. I'm so excited to hear all about sleep routines. I'm here with Helen, who's going to tell us all about it.
So my name's Helen Rutherford. I am the lead practitioner for the sleep charity. My role is not medical, so I'm not a doctor. I'm what we call a behavioural sleep practitioner. And we look at how we go to sleep. We look at our routines. We look at the diet that we have. We look at bedroom environments, and we work with parents to help their children get to sleep.
So Helen, the children at Full House Theatre Art Town Group in Houghton, Regis have some fantastic questions for you. Like this one.
Hello, my name is Joseph and I'm 7 years old. And I have a question. What time should we go to sleep?
My name's Kaya and I'm 8 years old. And my question is, how long should we sleep for?
Well, Kaya and Joseph, those questions are quite different, but also quite similar. There is no magic answer. It's different for everybody. We call it a sleep need, and everybody's need is individual. The brain and the body are very, very busy at night repairing themselves and filing information. So the one thing that we do know is you need plenty of sleep. One of the best ways to ask or answer your question is to say, who gets you up in the morning? Does mum, dad or a carer get you up? Do you have to use an alarm clock? Now, if the answer is yes to those and you don't wake up naturally yourself, I can tell you quite simply you're not getting enough sleep. The other question to ask yourself is, when you're not at school, so the weekends and holidays, do you lie in? Do you sleep for longer than you would if it was a school day? So again, if the answer is yes, then the chances are you're not getting enough sleep. Now, we can't just go to sleep if we're not tired. So we have to change that very, very slowly over time. So if, just for example, say you're going to bed at 9 o'clock and you're having to be woken up at 7 o'clock in the morning and you're still sleepy, you could try going to bed at 8:45, just for a few nights until you adapt to that. And if you're still sleepy at 7, start going to bed about 8:30. And again, let your body adapt to that. And when you start to either wake yourself at 7 o'clock, or when your parents or your carers come in to wake you, and it's quite easy for you to wake up, that's when you're probably getting enough sleep. So look at what time you have to be up for school for, and then work out how many hours you're getting and see if you think you could do with maybe 15 minutes more, maybe half an hour, but only change it by 15 minutes every night, because if you try and do it too quickly, it's not going to work.
Okay, I get it. So if I'm sleepy when I wake up, I should go to bed a little earlier every few nights.
My name is Dre and I'm 6 years old. And my question is, why do we have to sleep at the night?
Well, Dre, that's a really, really good question. And it's probably the one that's going to take me the longest to answer today. Sleep affects absolutely everything we do, everything we feel. There's nothing that sleep doesn't affect. It is hugely, hugely important. When we sleep, we are looking after our body health and our brain health. If we're injured, so if you've fallen over and you've scraped your knee, or if you've broken a bone, it actually takes you longer to heal if you don't get enough sleep. So it helps us to heal our injured bodies. It also helps us to fight infections. So again, if you don't sleep well, you get more coughs and colds, you get more viruses, and they take longer to go. So sleep helps you fight those infections. It also helps you to remember things. So when you're at school and you're learning, it helps you to put things into your long-term memory. It helps you problem solve as well. So when you're asked questions at school and you've got to work things out, you're going to be able to do that a lot better.
Wow, that is fascinating.
It also means you grow properly. So one of the hormones that we release when we sleep is the growth hormone. We also sometimes worry about things, and if you've had an argument with a friend or something's worrying you in other parts of your life, if you fall asleep on it, that worry in the morning doesn't seem quite so bad. And what sleep does, it kind of helps us file our worries. It draws on experiences that we've had before, and it just makes everything a little bit better in the morning because our brain has sort of worked out what we're going to do about it, and it's given us a better perspective. It also just helps you feel better. It helps you make better decisions. Imagine your body is a battery, and during the day you drain that battery, and you have to plug in to sleep at night to recharge it so that when you wake up in the morning your battery is full. Now, if you don't get good sleep, you're waking up with a partially charged battery, and things don't work very well if the batteries aren't full. So just think of sleep as charging your battery, and you'll feel much better and you'll work much better in the morning.
Wow, my battery feels fully charged after hearing that.
My name is David and I'm 9 years old, and my question is, why if we don't sleep do we get sick?
So David, that is really astute of you to make the link between not sleeping and being sick. There's lots of things that the body does when it's asleep. We've already talked about our immune system repairing itself, but what I haven't told you is actually the brain flushes itself of dead cells and toxins that it's used in the day, so it cleans itself. So over long term, we need to get lots of sleep so our brains and our bodies are repaired.
Hello, my name is Myla. I'm 8.5 years old. And my question is, why do we have the REM cycle?
REM stands for rapid eye movement, and this happens in the second half of the night. The first part of your sleep, you're in a very, very deep sleep. You're very hard to wake up, and that's when your brain and your body is repairing itself. But as you move through that, the second half of your sleep is much lighter, and part of that is REM sleep. Now, you can tell when you're in it because if you were to look at somebody in REM sleep, you would see their eyes moving underneath the eyelids. Now, it's often called our dream sleep because this is where most of our dreams take place. This is hugely important because this is the part of sleep where we put things into long-term memory. So we call it memory consolidation. That's all that means. It's just we're making sense of everything and we're putting it into that long-term memory. It's where we file all the information that we've learned in that day and all the experiences we've had. It helps us make sense of the day and things that we've heard, things that we've seen, things that we've learned, things that have happened to us. It also helps us regulate our emotions. So you will wake up feeling happier, you will feel stronger in your head. It's where we build a perspective. So do you remember when I said if something feels really worrying to you, but you'll feel better about it in the morning when you've had a good night's sleep? That's what perspective is. And it pulls on our past experiences, which helps us sort things out while we're asleep. Now, if you don't get enough of this sleep, you wake up feeling like you haven't slept well or you haven't had enough sleep. You might be clumsy. You might be forgetful, you'll have emotional outbursts, you're possibly going to be daydreaming, you're going to be intolerant, so people are really going to irritate you that day. You're possibly also going to be really fidgety, you can't just sit and relax, and you're also going to be feeling really tired, and we do get some children who actually fall asleep at their desk, and that's not useful at school, is it?
My name is Tiana, I am 10 years old, and my question is, why do we wear pyjamas if pyjamas are the same as our normal outday clothes?
Oh, Tiana, I have never been asked this question before. What a fabulous question. It's part of getting ready for bed, so it's part of your routine. You're preparing your brain with familiar activities. Now, bedclothes or pyjamas tend to be lighter, they tend to be a more breathable fabric, which means that we can regulate our temperature better when we're in bed. We actually need to be quite cool when we're in bed. They're also much more comfortable than jeans and socks and big bulky sweatshirts, for example. You've also got to think that the clothes that you've worn all day have got the dirt of the day on them, and you don't want to be in bed in clothes that have got food on them, or that someone sneezed over, or you've been playing in the garden and they're full of dirt. We also sweat when we're asleep, so our pyjamas will absorb that sweat. And you wouldn't want to wear those all day after you've woken up, so we take our pyjamas off and then put clean clothes on for the day so we can get those dirty again, so we can change again into pyjamas for the next night.
This all sounds great, but what if I still can't fall asleep?
Then that becomes a very individual question. So I would have to ask you, is there something on your mind? Is it because you're just not tired? If you're not tired, why aren't you tired? So are we looking at a sleep phase problem? And I think the other thing to just say is, if you can't fall asleep, don't worry about it. Sleep does come. Sleep always comes. It might come later than you want it to, but it's always there. If it continues to come way later than you want it to, then maybe you need to give us a ring. And we have got a helpline. You'll find it on our website. It's open, I think, 3 evenings and 2 mornings. So you can always have a chat with a practitioner and they'll help you unpick why you're not sleeping.
Thanks to everyone for your mesmerising questions. And thanks to Helen for your guidance.
Pom, pom, pom.
If you're having trouble falling asleep, it's important to tell your parents, carer, or another trusted adult. They can help you figure out what to do next. The Sleep Charity's website has lots of tips and helpful advice about going to sleep. They even have a helpline where you and your carer can speak to a trained sleep advisor. Sometimes it's a good idea to pay your doctor a visit and let them know what's been going on. The important thing to remember is that you are not alone. Lots of people have trouble sleeping, but there is support out there which can help you get a good night's rest.